highlight coming in just a moment. Gigantic spot for Kansas City off a penalty-filled loss on Monday night. They've got to take on Detroit. Jared Goff and Brian Branch. Branch passes on the DAP, and then you'll see Juju Smith-Schuster. He's like, what's that? And Branch, well, that's a different kind of DAP, and Juju's not here for that. And it's a whole big scrum and a melee, and in the end, everybody gave each other proper good luck, stay healthy, and we'll see you down the road. Mahomes and the Chiefs win by 13. As we just mentioned with Travis Kelce, quite a turnaround for a Chiefs team that conspired in their own demise Monday with a costly turnover that turned into a touchdown the other way. Really an incredible play by Lloyd and the Jags, but 13 penalties that cost them 109 yards. On Sunday night, not a single penalty, not a single turnover. That plus 15 equals win number 3 on the season. Tim Hasselbeck is with us every week in studio, and this week, buddy, you are earning your keep, bouncing around all over the country. Some very ambitious travel hours, so thank you for being here. Patrick Mahomes has always been very, very difficult to defend. But what did the Chiefs do on Sunday against the Lions that was maybe unique that no one else would or could do?
Yeah, I just think that there's always wrinkles in their offense. That's the brilliance of Andy Reid. Mahomes is hard, just drop it back. He could scramble, he could throw the ball off platform, all that stuff. But here's what they did down on the goal line. They're going to work a double team on Aiden Hutchinson. And then what's going to happen is Pacheco's going to step this way. Mahomes is going to open up that way. That's going to get influence on this linebacker. And then what they end up doing off of this is they end up running speed option. So Mahomes is going to come back, Pacheco's going to wind back. And as we play this forward, when you're the Lions, you're not thinking, oh, here comes Mahomes running the option on the goal line. You play option football, you need, somebody's got the pitch, somebody's got the quarterback. Well, that's not what you're working on all week, which is why it's a walk-in touchdown. So that's one area. Then how about the RPO game? So a lot of times when you run RPOs, if you're throwing the pass option to the slot side, the back, instead of being offset, is usually this side. The reason being is when you turn to the back, you have vision to this area where you're maybe throwing the RPO. Well, they're going to do it from the other side, but it's because of this defender's lack of width to expand out to Juju Smith-Schuster. Watch Mahomes get this football out. It could be awkward, uncomfortable.
Who cares?
But instead, it's right to the right shoulder of Juju Smith-Schuster, and on a 1st and 10, they get 12 yards, basically on an easy play because it's uncovered, but only easy because Mahomes can kind of run an RPO and still get the ball out quickly and accurately for run after the catch.
Our producer and director are going to get mad at me because I don't know if we have videotape to support this, but explain for the folks at home that might not have heard Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth explain why the touchdown that Goff got on the very first drive for Detroit wasn't a touchdown.
So when you are under center, you can then not receive a pass. Right. So if Goff had lined up in shotgun,
would have been fine.
Then he's fine. He can go out for a pass. Or if he's under center, moves from under center, and then gets set, then he can go out and receive a pass because he wouldn't be lined up, under center right prior to the ball being snapped. So it's a little rule thing that, quite frankly, I don't know, based on the reaction from the Lions, if they were fully aware that was going to be a problem.
I feel like they do so much creative stuff. I think back to what happened a couple years ago down at Dallas, where it's like they practice stuff, and I'm sure they would have vetted it, right? Because they're way too smart not to. But it was interesting in real time to see when it got called that they seemed to think it shouldn't have been.
Yeah, they were confused by it. I think, listen, I don't think Andy was confused by it because he was looking at it. They end up getting it right. What's interesting about that drive, 10 run plays and 2 trick plays, basically.
Right.
That was Detroit's plan.
And this was a night where clearly both sides are not going to settle for 3 if they don't have to, and they're going to go for it on 4th downs. And really, it ends up being a 13-point game. But as much as anything, it's that Detroit missed a couple of chances. You get 3 instead of 6, and they missed a 4th down that was huge in the middle there. And I think really that's the difference in this game, isn't it?
Margin for error. You go play a really good team in their building. The margin for error is small. So you just think about some of the mistakes. This one here, if Goff just gets set for 1 second, not behind the center, that's 7 points, not 3. There's a difference there. So when you think of the drop by Amon-Ra St. Brown on 4th down, look, they blitzed them. They had a great call on. The ball was right at his belt. Should catch it. You get a PI or a defensive holding call, on third down that keeps Kansas City on the field. It could just be 3 plays that don't go your way. That really can be the difference in the football game.
One last quick thought on this. We talked about it with Travis a little bit. And you and I, as we watch this, you think about the personnel groupings and the options that Reed and the Chiefs have. And you add Rashee Rice to that. And this team that looked, wow, I don't know what's wrong. It's going to look like a completely different team, aren't
Well, and I think they think they're way better than they were a year ago. Up front, skill positions, all of it. So,
and Rashee Rice is another magnifier. It is a pleasure to welcome back to the program Travis Kelce, who joked when he threw the headset on, he finally played well enough to be on the show. You know you're always welcome here. Look, we would have chatted on Monday, but the Jags had other ideas. And you guys tonight welcome a red-hot Detroit team. What was the best thing that you guys did tonight that you failed to do on Monday?
I'm not going to lie, I'm a little upset. You were in Jacksonville last week, and you got them all fired up, SVP.
Well,
why can't we get you out here to Arrowhead to fire up the KC crowd?
If you ask, it's a family thing. My wife's from Jacksonville. They made a request. I mean, you know some people. You want me to bang on the drum? I'll do it. They never asked. That's all I'm saying.
There we go. You're right. But I'll tell you what, this Lions team, man, hats off to them. A short week for us at least, and it's always tough, man. But we know the Dan Campbell's kind of toughness. It's ingrained in that defense and that offense, and we were fired up to get to experience that challenge this week. And Coach Reed did a great job of getting these guys ready, and we went out there and put up a 30 ball on that defense, and that's not an easy thing to do, man.
When I spoke with Joe and Troy after the game Monday, which I do every Monday Night Football, and I looked at the stat sheet, and you all had 13 penalties. I couldn't believe it. You had none tonight. How much of a focus was it, Travis, to just clean up the things that you all are in control of?
Yeah, I mean, penalties and turnovers are going to ruin you in this league, man, and everybody knows it's no secret. And it was a bit embarrassing seeing how many flags we had last week. So it was a huge focus point this week, and I can't tell you how proud I am of these guys, both offense, defense, special teams especially. Finding a way to get the job done and doing it within the framework of the game, man.
You all get Rashee back next week, and you all are back to 3-3. Reports of your demise greatly exaggerated. How would you sort of describe, Travis, what the focus of your group is with the coming weeks ahead of your bye, and sort of where you feel like you are now with the understanding you got a lot of runway ahead of you?
I mean, the thing is, in this building, man, you get challenged every single week, so you don't really pay attention to the record. You don't pay attention to who you got next. It's all based on it's all based on the now.